the harvest.
Greetings, Africa. This is Emmanuel, and here's the latest news from across the continent. Algeria's ambassador to Washington, Sabri Boukadoum, announces the upcoming discussions between Algeria and the United States aimed at enhancing defense cooperation, including the potential signing of an agreement for U.S. arms supplies to Algeria during a March 7th press briefing at the Algerian embassy in Washington. Boukadoum stated that the representatives from both countries' defense ministers are preparing to launch security partnership talks. Discussions will focus on intelligence sharing, new arms deals, search and rescue operations, and counterterrorism efforts in the Sahel region. In Chad, history was made as the country's first ever Senate elected Haroun Kabari as its president. Kabari, a seasoned politician, was anonymously appointed by 69 senators, both elected those appointed by President Mohamed Idriss Déby. Whereas in Gabon, only 4 out of all presidential candidates have been approved for the upcoming elections on April 12th. Among confirmed candidates, it is transitional president Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema. Rejected candidates have 72 hours to appeal to the decision before the Constitutional Court. Insecurity, South Sudan. Tensions continue to escalate in Upper Nile State, Nasser County, following a deadly attack on a United Nations helicopter. The African Union Commission chairperson Moussa Faki Mahamat expresses deep concern over the rising violence in Nasser, as well as the Western Equatoria and Western Bahr al-Ghazal states, warning that it threatens the fragile peace process. Meanwhile, the UN Human Rights Committee raised alarms over increasing violence and political disagreements in South Sudan. Turning to Sudan, Defense Minister Yassin Brahim stated the army has made significant progress in its war against the Rapid Support Forces. Speaking on national television, he assured that ongoing military operations will soon restore peace and stability to the country. Moving to the Democratic Republic of Congo, violence has surged in the eastern region. The UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reported that hospitals in Goma were targeted by armed groups between March 1st and 3rd, marking a severe escalation against healthcare facilities. Additionally, clashes between the M23 rebels and local armed groups in Masisi territory have left at least 4 civilians dead, including a humanitarian worker. In Western Sahara, an estimated 10 million landmine remains scattered across the desert, particularly along the Moroccan-constructed Wall of Shame. According to a report by the French newspaper L'Humanité, the mines pose ongoing risk to civilians, particularly those involved in demining efforts. Meanwhile, in Germany, Sahrawi diplomat Najat Handi has praised the role of Sahrawi women in the ongoing struggle for independence, highlighting their resilience and leadership in the fight for self-determination. Shifting to health news in Sudan, the humanitarian crisis is worsening as the White Nile State struggle with a deadly cholera outbreak. According to Doctors Without Borders, 92 people have died from the disease between February 20th and March 5th. Meanwhile, Ethiopia faces a severe humanitarian crisis with ongoing conflicts and climate shocks, leaving millions in need. The UN Humanitarian Office OCHA reports that Ethiopia requires $2 billion for emergency response in 2025, with a current funding gap of $496 million for the first half of the year. A new report from Save the Children reveals that more than 375,000 children in North Kivu, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, are out of school and at risk of recruitment by armed groups. The organization warns that prolonged conflict and instability continue to endanger the future young people in the region. On the occasion of International Women's Day, the African Union has called for swift action to combat violence against women and girls across the continent. The AU emphasized the urgent need for stronger policies and protections to ensure women's rights and safety. That's all for now. Thank you for your attention. Stay with us for more updates at the top of the hour in the Arabic Roundup with Rafiq Aboud. Keep tuning to Ifriqiya FM, the voice of Africa.
Feel the vibe, feel the heat.
Ifriqiya FM moves your feet. Africa's Rhythm on 105.6 FM.